Hey folks, welcome back to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis. So I thought I would answer a question that maybe some of you have asked or want to ask or just have in your head, not just of me but others like myself. Why be, into self-sufficient life and preparedness and homesteading and or neo-pioneer or whatever the current term is. I like self-sufficient myself, but I know there's a lot of different terms. What's the point? Is it a hobby, lifestyle? Do you live in fear? Why? I thought I would talk about that briefly today. Well, I'll attempt to make it briefly. It's getting cold out here and I'm starting to get a little chilly. Yeah, of course, I do it because, in case something bad happens, I'm prepared. My family doesn't, starve to death or die in some other manner because of, whatever's going on, that we're prepared in that way. But in my mind, and this isn't necessarily everyone, in my mind, that's almost kind of a secondary thing. For me, I do it for the independence. I am very much a, kind of the old school founding fathers, patriotic type of person. I believe in freedom strongly. I believe in independence, which, I believe that we have certain inalienable rights granted to us by our Creator, Father Yahweh, and that we should use those, that we should use them on a regular basis, because if you don't use them, you'll lose them. We should practice them, and one of those things is being just independent, self-sufficient. To me, those are kind of, very similar meaning words. Our nation, and it doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right side of the aisle, or somewhere in the middle, or wherever else it might be, and this isn't just us, it's any government. Governments, they exist and they grow in power because people need them. And the more that they're needed, the more powerful they become. And the less that they're needed, the less powerful. It's pretty simple. And so I don't want to find myself, I never have. I was raised this way and I've been this way my whole life. I don't want to find myself in a situation where I need them, because there's too much baggage that comes along with the help. I want to be a free person. I want to be independent on my own and be able to know that for the most part, the things that I am doing and providing to myself and my family come from my hands. It's a matter of pride, good pride. It's a matter of building up self-confidence. You feel good about yourself. As an example, some of you, let me try to think of some scenarios. The first time you ever planted a garden and, things started growing. Didn't you feel really good, that first time your tomatoes started, ripening, or, the peppers started ripening, or whatever it was, cucumbers. Maybe the first time you worked on your car and you did it and you did it right, and you're like, man, this is awesome. I feel really good about myself. I feel, a little bit more independent, that I can kind of do something on my own. I'm not dependent upon someone else. That's kind of what I'm talking about. For us, I look at it as the best way to be that way is out in a rural area. It's a little bit more difficult in the city. I'm not saying it can't be done, because you can show me and I can show you many examples of urban people that grow a lot of food, do a lot of things on their own. So it is possible. I just prefer this. I've lived in the country my whole life. I'm not real comfortable in a big city, so this is where I like it. But that's why. Homesteading, preparedness, self-sufficiency. To me, it's all about independence. It's all about knowing that I can take care of myself and I can take care of my family. And yeah, I know you can make the argument, yeah, but they have, you know, more power and they can come take it all away if they really wanted to. Sure, they could. You know, I don't deny that. But in the end, you know, I'd rather, if it ever came to that, I'd rather go down with my boots on, standing on my feet, than, you know, on my knees, that kind of thing. You know, I think back to, and it just slipped my mind. I read it and I was going to try to quote it, and it just totally popped out of my head. The famous quote from Samuel Adams, the founding father, you know, "Depart from us, you know, and may the chains rest, you know, lightly on you." I'm sure there'll be someone that'll pipe in, because as I'm rattling around in my head, it just slipped out. And I've read that quote. It's probably one of my favorite all-time quotes, especially from the founding father revolution era. I know that there's many that know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the reason why I do this. That may not be the reason why you do this. I do this because it brings my family together. It shows my children a different way of life, as opposed to this modern, high-technical life that, to me, appears very fake. I'm not saying that technology is bad, but there's so much of it that people have just seem to lose their humanity. They're human. It's, you know, we don't need robots. Everyone's becoming robots, it seems like. So I want to show them a different life, and also teach them things so that maybe if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, it might happen in theirs, and they're prepared because they have that knowledge. I believe in my heart that it helps me walk in a closer walk with, you know, the Father up in heaven, Father Yah. I believe that. It doesn't mean that if you don't live out like this, you can't be close and have a, you know, close Christian faith. That's not what I'm saying, but for me, that's how it works for me. I don't know. This is one of those rambling videos. Not really anything specific to talk about. But, you know, when people ask you, you know, why do you prep? Why are you a homesteader? You know, why are you self-sufficient? You know, is it just a hobby? Is it something cool to do? You know, are you just a nerd or whatever it is? These are the things why. Because it is, to me, it increases my level of freedom. It's the independence that I crave. I don't want to feel dependent upon a system. So, you know, the more that I know I can take care of myself, the more that I know that I don't have to run to them, if things really got bad, because we could survive, the better that I feel. Because historically speaking, you know, governments don't have a very good reputation of, you know, helping you out and allowing you to have your freedoms at the same time. So, to me, it's almost like a patriotic duty to be self-sufficient as much as I can, and to be prepared, because you know, it's on a daily basis, kind of reminding myself of those rights that are guaranteed, that are protected by our Constitution, and that are given to us by our Creator. And they're more than just words written down, you know, a few hundred years ago. They are something that I want to teach my children through my actions, show them what it means to be free, as much as possible. I get it. America is not really a free country. We haven't been in a long time. But, you know, we still need to act like we are, at least us. You know, the day that we just kind of throw up our hands and say, all right, we've lost all of our freedoms, then we're no longer free. True freedom is really in your mind. So, it doesn't matter that they may force you to pay taxes, or that they force you to abide by certain rules and laws that you feel are wrong. You live your daily life as free as possible, and don't let those freedoms out of your grasp. And that's what we do here. That's why I do this. you know, and then the benefit of being prepared so that we don't starve to death or freeze to death or whatever. Hey, that's a good thing too. But for me, really, it's about independence. It's, you know, of knowing that I'm not dependent upon a system, which is very different than being dependent upon others in your community, which I'll talk about another time, because dependent on a system and dependent upon in your community, your mag or something like that, are two very different things. So, all right, it's another babbling video, but some of you like those, so I thought I'd talk about them and all the stuff that's going on in the news lately, which I'm not even going to get into. My, you know, patriotic bug started, you know, coming out again, and I thought I'd talk about it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.